Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know
Hey,
what
Nell,
it
play
is.
that shit.
Oh yeah!
Oh man, this man got the background.
You already know, man.
Get that money, man. Get that money. Head to the house. Ain't no fuck that shit, man. For sure.
Easy money, easy money.
Easy.
Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I
knock on wood,
said,
knock on wood.
Look at the rookies we drafted. We got Dean and we got Davis. Two from Florida. It doesn't get better than that shit.
yeah, put that
Shit
shit
up.
up.
Put that shit up. As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first,
You're
you're last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2. Fix this week.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. Welcome back, everybody, to the I Need a Sports podcast. Your host with the most. Got the regulars, my dog Cam, my dog Chris. Remember Tim from the last episode for the NBA predictions. And I don't think y'all seen him for NBA season, but y'all know we got our other dog Cam on, talk some basketball. Remember him from the NFL. Last time you seen him, I think was our Super Bowl episode, probably. But yeah, we got everybody on. We might have another guest join too. Another one of our homeboys on the way to the crib. See if he can hop on. But yeah, man, we got a lot to discuss. Last time we talked, it was the conference right before the conference finals. I don't think the conference finals went like we thought they were gonna go. But here we are. Nuggets versus Heat, game 1 of the NBA finals tomorrow. Heat just finished off the Celtics in 7 in Boston, whooped their ass. And then, Nuggets, it was some close games, but I mean at the end of the day, Nuggets got the brooms out on Braun and the boys, man. So I'm gonna swing it to Cam first because this is his team. He was so ready, to come on and talk his stuff, pump his chest out. He's feeling good about his Lakers. His prediction from the beginning of the year, he said they win it all. And he last episode he was like, if they get one, if they let us get that first one, I don't want to jinx it, but we gonna sweep them.
It was a very sweet.
It was the exact opposite, Cam. So, what went wrong for your Lakers in Denver, man?
Man, like Chris said, it came down to bum.
Oh wow.
He's starting off with violence today.
It came down to him, man. That second brain of his, really got in, really got to him, and he was just being arrogant, and didn't change up the lineup at all. Didn't put Rui in the lineup. Didn't put other guys in the lineup. Kept playing D'Lo out there till was that fourth game or
They said
whatnot.
D'Lo still putting up shots right now in the gym.
I bet he is, man. But yeah, nah, D'Lo had a not just a bad series, like a bad playoffs altogether. I feel like he wasn't really the same. I don't know. He just really wasn't the same D'Lo from like the regular season version when we seen him or not. But yeah, so you had that going on. Then you had really Jamal Murray couldn't stop him in the fourth quarter at all. Dennis Schroeder was kind of too little for him. And what's called Vando, he was too big for him. Like he couldn't really stay with him or whatnot. But yeah, he has something to prove. Jamal Murray has something to prove. When it was fourth quarter, they know they can, give him the rock. He gonna go out there and do something with it. So, had those two things, and then obviously the third thing for me was the other guys like for Denver, like KCP, MPJ, Bruce Brown coming off the bench. Aaron Gordon stepped up game 4 finally. I mean, they like Brian said, man, that's probably one of the best teams that Anthony Davis and LeBron has played against together and in their Lakers tenure or whatever. That's a good team, man. Then, the ringleader Jokic obviously can't stop him. Um yeah, I mean it was all that was going on, man. It's horrible.
I can still hear the hurt in your voice.
I'm happy for Jokic
You
though.
really
I'm
don't
happy-
want to talk about it.
I really don't. I really don't. But I must say it was a win-win because I get to crave about Nikola Jokic.
Oh,
Nicola.
look,
Yes, sir.
we got our boy Tim over here on 2K. Tim, I was gonna swing it to you next because you're the other Lakers fan on the pod right now. What went wrong for your boys, man? You had them winning it all too. So
I personally think it was our role players. Like he said, D'Lo he wasn't D'Lo, and then I mean, just as a whole, each game like we all couldn't click and be all on the same page. It's actually kind of hard to get 5 guys to 7 or 8 guys all on the same page to make something happen, especially against a team like the Nuggets. Nuggets was the best team in the league, and then I don't know. It's just I feel like AD could have played better. You know, every game I personally seen him play good in the first half, and he didn't show up the second half. I don't know what it was, and then I kind of felt like AD was just a little scary because if I was a coach, I would have had him guarding Jokic and would have made him work all series. But yeah, and then I'm still kind of hurt Brian didn't take that shot. So that's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, I'm hurt about that one too. I mean, yeah, AD. I don't know. Like, it's really supposed to be his team, and he has his moments where it looks like, man, AD, this you really like you could be top 5, and then literally 2 minutes later within the same game it'll be like, AD, you're not even top 50. What are you doing?
Exactly.
I remember tweeting it game 4. I was like, there's no way Anthony Davis is missing this many bunnies, and you 6'11", you right there at the rim. Like, if Jamal Murray is contesting you, you just need to dunk the basketball. I don't understand. Like, I wish God would have made me that height just so I could put my theories to test. Because I feel like if he up there, just dunk it. He
Exactly.
acting like Jamal Murray is bowl or something, adjusting his body, missing it short, missing it long. I think he missed like 3 or 4 lobs throughout the series. It was just inconsistent play. D'Lo, like y'all said, I mean, I won't go as far as saying he was bad all playoffs. I think he played decent he played good round 1. I think he played decent versus the Warriors, and then the Nuggets, for whatever reason, maybe it was because they were attacking him on the defensive side of the ball a lot. But yeah, Nuggets series, he was horrible. Schroeder, he couldn't finish a layup to save his life or a floater. Rui gave y'all solid minutes, but then eventually he had an off game 4. And LeBron gave us everything he had them first 30 minutes because he clearly didn't have nothing left the next 30 minutes in that second half of game 4. The only fault I find with Bron in that game is when you come out the third quarter and you up 15 and then Denver makes a 10-0 run and you still haven't taken a shot 5 minutes into the quarter, and you don't watch Schroeder miss countless layups, AD miss layups, Reeves wasn't hitting. I feel like at that point, I know he tired, but take a shot, just at least. He wasn't even doing that. And then the last shot, I mean, I know people are gonna be like, well, he needs to drive the ball. That's what we always tell him to do. That one, they got the rebound with like 40 seconds left, and he had Jokic on him. And Jokic was daring him to shoot the 3, standing 5 feet off. I'm like, bro, you take that shot. Just take the quick 2 for 1, because then it leaves you more time for a last possession, which came back to bite them because they only had 4 seconds when he made that drive to the bucket. And it is what it is. Sweep was all she wrote. Lakers are out of there. No telling where they go from here. I don't know. Bron, he talked about possibly retiring. Maybe he takes a year off. Bronny finna go to USC right down the street. He can, watch all his games, rest up his body, man. But Kim, Chris, what y'all think? How y'all think the Lakers reload next year? Like, with Bron, without Bron, like what are the steps forward to maybe, trying to get one more title before, this team is all said and done?
You want to go first, Chris? You want me to go?
You go.
I don't think Bron's gonna retire. I don't think so. he's not gonna just end his career like that. Come up short on a shot contested versus like 2 or 3 players, especially getting swept like that. He ain't going to go out like that. He definitely will think about it though, because I mean he is 38. Getting older, so he'll be 39 this year. And then he also will think about Bronny's future at USC, which is around like not too far from crypto now arena. So in my opinion, I feel like they're gonna believe the whole media hype and try to go after Kyrie and stuff. You know how that goes. But Mark Cuban, is very stingy. He's not gonna do a sign trade deal. Like, no offense to D'Lo, but nobody want to get D'Lo in Dallas. That's you. It's already bad that Luka can't play defense, and so now you put in a defender in D'Lo who's worse defender than Kyrie. Together, it's not gonna work. It's gonna be a bad matchup. It's gonna be worse than what it is. So I feel like they're gonna have to like give up a lot if they want Kyrie to get to LA. So I feel like they're gonna try to add like a third scorer. Like you said, it's AD team, so I don't think he's gonna leave. But some players definitely gonna be off the roster for sure. I know D'Lo's gonna be gone. Whoever else, I don't know. I feel like with some of the trades they did, in my opinion, was, I would say, like, useless, because you didn't even get Malik Beasley any minutes. Mo Bamba wasn't even healthy. He had ankle issues. You could have started Rui, but you came off the bench until I think game 4. You're like, okay, let's start him, and then it's already too late. Then Jamal Murray just went crazy, so the momentum already changed. You kept trying to start Vando, and knowing he's not good offensively. He like a modern day Dennis Rodman. Can't score really, but he can rebound, defend. But the Nuggets are like so spread out. They got shooters everywhere. So it's like he can't defend the perimeter. So, and then put him and AD together is like congest the paint to where you can't have him at perimeter. So I feel like they're gonna try to get Kyrie, but it's gonna be difficult. That's the only play I feel like they can get, because I mean, who else they can get in the offseason, really? Like, they pretty much they traded away their future, really, to get all the players who would even play a second in the playoffs. Getting from Obama to Malik Beasley, different players like that, they even touched a second. So it's like, what's the point in trading for them? And then they was up and down with starting Tristan Thompson. I feel like if y'all gonna get him, y'all can at least give him some minutes. When he played, he actually pretty good.
I told him in the group chat before the series started. I tweeted out game 1. I was like, if Darvin Ham is smart, he'll give Tristan Thompson some type of minutes just to throw an extra body at Jokic. And he got 6 fouls to give. It's not like they needed Tristan Thompson to produce. And when he got in, he was producing more than the players that was on the court, like AD. And I'm like, you could have been doing this also. Like, give him 10, 15 minutes a game. Go out there, and, if Jokic make a good move, hack him. Hit him as hard as you can. Send him to the free throw line. You get 3 quick fouls, okay, back to the bench. Get some rebounds. You let AD roam off the 5-man so he can play forward, kind of protect the basket, which when they finally went to Rui, that's kind of what AD was able to do, because that's more of his natural position. But yeah, I'm still mad right now that they didn't experiment with Tristan Thompson more, because like you said, Mo Bamba was injured, so that's why they went and got him. And especially for a series when you playing Nikola Jokic, like, that's the perfect time to use him, so you don't got to wear down AD. Then you got Van Gundy and Mark Jackson over there talking about, yeah, Brown has only played every minute of this game except for 4 seconds, and he scored all the points damn near. He needs to guard Jokic too. Like, what are we doing here? Like, that's exactly when you put in Tristan Thompson and let him, try to take some of that force off of them. But it is what it is. Like I said, it's done. How about you, Chris? What do you think? Like, you think Kyrie is the solution, or you got any other solutions for the Lakers?
Kyrie a free agent, ain't he?
No, he's still on the contract. He got to do a sign trade.
Yeah. So they only getting him if they,
because I think he has I think a team option, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a team option with the Nets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Okay. No, in regards to that team, bro, I just don't see the Lakers winning another chip with Anthony Davis on their team, bro. I just that is a bad way to play that he plays basketball. Like, I think he's aware that, like, and he said it before, like, he knows he can go out there and he can have one of those games like he's had, and we saw him get like 27 and 14 or whatever the case may be. Like, he's capable of being a decent big man. but it's like times where he chooses not to. And when you're on a team with an aging LeBron, not to mention his foot, right? Like, and I'm not even going. I'm gonna give LeBron the benefit of the doubt because he sat there and he dropped 30 points in one half on a messed up foot. I'm mad that it took him to game 4 to do it, but I mean, I guess everything was on the line, so he had to. But that, to me, that's not the Robin. I guess you could say Robin if you want to call LeBron Batman. That's not the Robin to his Batman. Like he's not reliable to me, especially for the type of LeBron build that we have right now. This is an older LeBron. We know he don't want to do a lot. He needs somebody that's gonna go out there and really try to take over. And I don't think AD is like, I don't think he has that motivation. I think in his head it's like, oh, I got a chip. It'd be cool if I got another one, but if it happens, it happens. And I don't think LeBron thinks like that. LeBron's like, if I'm gonna play, I'm playing to win. So in regards to that team rebuilding or revamping, I don't know if I'm what's the Lakers owner name or the general manager, that lady?
Pelinka,
Jeannie Buss.
Jeannie Buss.
Pelinka and Jeannie. If I'm both of them, bro, like with all due respect to LeBron, at this point, anybody that I sign to my team, it's for the future. It's not for you. Like if you can work it out, if you can get with the coach and y'all can all produce and become a team, that's great. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and trade away everybody I have just so you can try and win now, especially if your second option is AD.
Oh, that's fair. And it's tough because you think about it, like kind of what Cam was saying. In the fourth, it just became Jamal Murray time every game. I don't even think Jokic scored a fourth quarter point until game 3 because Murray was doing everything the Nuggets needed. Games 1 and 2, Lakers literally didn't have anybody to close. Braun would be too tired. AD nowhere to be found. So it sucks because Kyrie kind of is the missing piece because they just need a closer. Kyrie led the league in fourth quarter points, and that's what they could have used him for. But they would have to give up too much of their roster and depth to get him. For me personally, I feel like if they're gonna give it one more shot, they need to go out. I don't know if maybe they know enough about Mo Bamba, but I mean, I don't know how they could because he literally hasn't played for them. But they need a big that they can play a lineup where AD could just play the 4. Like, stop experimenting with him at the 5. He said it a couple years ago. He didn't want to be the 5. They got Dwight. They got JaVale. They win the championship. Then they get rid of them for no reason. They stick AD back at the 5. He had to bulk up a little bit more. You can tell that's weighing on his body because he don't even move as good anymore. He can't shoot the jumpers he used to. So, like, they're going to do something. I think they should re-sign Reeves, re-sign Rui. I mean, get what you can for D'Lo. Schroeder is a serviceable backup if they want to go that route, but I can understand if they want to offload him too. But I really think they just need to go get 2 competent 5 men. And really, if Tristan Thompson is down, because he's going to be vet minimum cheap, re-sign Tristan and just use him. Like, he don't even have to play 25, 30 minutes. He just play a solid 20 minutes. And for them 20 minutes, AD do not have to play the 5. Then you can sub in Rui. Rui can do what he was doing versus Jokic, certain games and stuff like that. But yeah, it sucks because, like you said, Chris, Bron, he's playing for a championship. It ain't nothing else. He said it in the post game, like, there ain't nothing else to do for him. He done got the points record. Everything else is just rings for his legacy. Like, what are we talking about here? So he's like, yeah, it's a failure because this is another wasted golden opportunity. Fortunately, he has the torn tendon in his foot, but you just had AD healthy for a solid like month and a half stretch. God knows if they gonna get that again. Like that's real because AD stays hurt. So I really don't know where they go from here. But I mean, depending on the offseason moves they make, I honestly could see Braun maybe saying, you know what? I'm 38, 20 years in. I'm going to take this year off, not retire. He might say he retired, but come back year 40, revamped, body fresh. Because let's keep it a buck. When he can actually rest and be healthy, like before he tore his foot, Braun was looking like the best player in the league again. Like people have quickly forgotten that over this last month or so playoffs because he hasn't looked like Braun with the shooting struggles. But go watch the highlights like right before February, March when he got injured. Braun was doing some stuff where it's like, is he 38 or 28? So if you let him get a year of rest, come back completely healthy. Now I know he might not want to play where Bronny gets drafted to if he comes out, but let him come back for a year, pick a team. Then we might be talking. But I wouldn't be mad at him if he did that because honestly, the Lakers are kind of in a catch-22 situation. It's not much they can do to attract a bigger name free agent to help them. And I don't know if what they have is necessarily enough if this is the type of production you're going to get from AD on a night in, night out basis during the playoffs. So
Bro,
it is what it is.
I don't think LeBron finna retire, but like I thought the year off thing was a good idea. But my concern is that we all know LeBron is a family man, bro. And I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, right? But he been playing basketball since he was 18 every day. You give this man a year off with his family, he gets to experience what it's like to actually be a dad full time. He may not come back.
Come back.
He may really be like, you know what, y'all? I know it's my time. Like, it's September. It's time for me to let y'all know. He may fuck around and he may say, hey, I'm just going to retire.
Yeah, I think he's gonna pull a Tom Brady though if he do that.
I was going to say that's a possibility, but
He could pull a Tom
he
Brady.
loves his wife.
He
He
loves
look-
his wife. He loves, and y'all remember he got a young daughter. Like we talk about Bryce and Bronny all the time, but his daughter's still a child, bro. He
I'm
could
saying.
still raise a kid for real. I'm not saying he ain't raised Bryce and Bronny because obviously we know he involved, but like being in the house, waking up, whatever dads do, make breakfast. I mean, y'all two know. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, he gets to really be a part of his daughter's life beyond sports like it was with his sons. So I don't know. I think if I'm him and I get a whole year off, bro, and if I don't feel like, especially like you said, the Lakers if they ain't got their stuff together for real, I'm staying home, bro. I'm staying with my family.
That's what I
You're
said.
right.
He could do that, but I wouldn't
I
be
don't.
surprised if he pull a Brady. That's all I'm gonna say. I wouldn't be surprised. But then
Like
he
if he
goes
do a
ready.
farewell tour, I feel like he have to do it next season. Like no year off,
Yeah,
farewell tour is what it
because
is.
I mean, I don't think he would take a year off because it's been statistically shown years after years that he spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on his body. So I personally think if he if he uses off season right to rest and actually spend that money on his body like he normally does, I think he can do the farewell tour next year.
That's true. And there's also so part of like I said, yeah, maybe take the year off. Also, and to a lesser extent, maybe he just takes the rest of like this actual calendar year off. Like,
Yeah,
don't come back
but then
To the
until
All-Star game.
January. Like,
but then you got to remember if he do that and he do this little farewell tour that he's gonna do next year, ain't they changing the rule where you got to play like a certain amount of games to win like MVP and all that
oh yeah,
stuff?
but he don't
Yeah,
care
I don't
about
think
none
he
of that.
care about that.
He
Yeah,
don't care about that.
it's just
But
finals or nothing now. But I'm saying like, give it because he's probably I'm sure they'll announce it probably like a month after the fact. But I'm sure he's having surgery sometime soon on that foot, and he's never had surgery before. So since he's older, give his body complete, time to recover from that surgery. Don't even come back for the start of the NBA season. The only problem with that is, can you depend on what the Lakers have to actually win games and stay in the playoff hunt? What they came back this year, while he was gone and made the playoffs. So I think they
yeah,
will be able to withstand not having him for the first 2-3 months of the season, come back right before All-Star break, rejuvenated, refresh, and try to make one final playoff push.
That
And
man, I would say Bron don't even care about the whole MVP and all that stuff because that man he haven't had NBA all first team I think since 2020. So he been NBA 13 like 3 seasons in a row. So he really didn't even care about all that.
makes sense. Makes sense. But I think if he's gonna sit half of the season, I kind of agree with Chris on that rebuilding. I think AD got to go.
yeah,
I
you
wonder who's
could
gonna
probably.
get him. They're talking about either Chicago or
Well,
Dallas.
I mean, it makes sense because they were talking about beforehand, right after he won the ring with Brian in the bubble, how when he become a free agent, that he was always wanting to go back home to Chicago. I could see that make a home appearance happen next year.
Chicago don't even know what they want to do. They got issues with Lonzo right now.
A
They got
lot of these
it
teams don't
hurts.
know what they want to do, bro.
That
They
that's
just
the
waiting for
Yeah,
Braun to
problem.
retire.
that's true. That's true. It's a lot of people like retiring, a lot of injuries,
Lonzo ain't playing
all
2
that. So you don't
years.
know what's gonna happen.
Levine not happy. DeRozan may leave. They got issues
Coach
with them.
carousel, bro. None of these organizations, they all in shambles.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Except the
if
but I
you
mean,
Spurs.
giving
it's
up
They looking up.
AD, it's hard to like be like, yeah, we want AD to go get this haul of players because most teams that are probably going to try to go for AD are looking at like we need AD to add to what we already got so we can become contenders. So
They're not
uh,
gonna build
right.
around
they really in a tough
him.
situation. I mean, it just sucks they didn't have that much time to gel together, but I mean, I feel like to do what they did, come back from I think they started this season 2-10, then they were like right under 500 after All-Star break. Bron gets injured, they still make the playoffs. Play in, they were losing the play in by 15 points in Minnesota before they came back, won that. And then to make the conference finals, they just ran into a well-oiled machine in Denver with arguably the best player in the game right now. So it is what it is, but it's gonna be an interesting offseason in LA for sure. On the flip side, we got the Heat Celtics. Now, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back because I called this one going to game 7 on the last episode. I did not know, or I did not think it was gonna be that route to get to game 7. I
Right.
thought I said Miami was gonna steal game 1. I texted all y'all that in the group chat. We all cashed out on that one. And then I thought the Celtics was gonna come back and be ready to go game
Cashed
2.
out on game 2.
Miami goes up 3-0. Then the Celtics come back and win the next 3. And then game 7 was kind of a doozy. Of course, Tatum gets hurt 20 seconds into the game, and it was never really even close whatsoever. But through all of these ups and downs of the Eastern Conference Finals, when they were having troubles with Philly, all the talk on social media, and it's kind of getting annoying now. But as soon as a coach loses a game, oh, he needs to go. He needs to be fired. Like, what are we doing here? Like, if that's the case, whatever coach wins the championship, he's the only one that's safe now. Like, not every coach is gonna win a championship every year. So people calling for Joe Mazzulla head. He's 34 years old, literally just became the head coach like 2 days before the season started. Got his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, went up against a legend in Spoelstra, who is undoubtedly the best coach in the game right now, Hall of Fame solidified, and took him to 7 after being down 3-0. Why should Mazzulla be fired? I don't get it. I want to get y'all's opinions on that because to me it just looks stupid. Like, you fire Mazzulla, you go get whatever coach. Celtics come back next year, they don't win it again, then what? Like,
I think with that, I don't agree with him being fired either because, like you said, he's a young coach. He's younger than Al Horford, for God's sake. Um, I think the reason why a lot of people was hear me out. I think a lot of people was trying to have the whole petition of him being fired was because of him almost giving a series away against Philly, not calling a timeout and letting James Harden go off in overtime and clutch the win. And then also not calling timeout when Miami went up. I'm like, bro, you had time to call a timeout and get a play in. So I feel like a lot of people was calling for him to be let go because of his decision making, excuse me, like him versus Ime Udoka. Like, Udoka will call a timeout. Like, if he see like Harden, the Sixers coming back, he'll immediately call a timeout and then play like a 2-3 zone for defense or something like that. That man, he called no timeout, and then he just let them just play out. I'm like, it's literally like 15 seconds left on the clock. You can call a timeout, run the play with Tatum or Brown. And then on top of that, excuse me, he had Marcus Smart call the last shot. Out of all shooters, Marcus Smart is like 32% from 3. And I think when I looked at it, I think it's like 32, 33% from 3. You got Tatum who shoots 41%, and you got Brown who shoots like 38%. The math ain't mathing, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like how he calling his plays. And then you got Al Horford jacking up threes and stuff like he's Kyle Korver or something. And I'm like, instead of him like taking advantage of Philly's size and just going in the hole. So I feel like a lot of people was going against his decision making, and he was showing glimpse of a rookie coach. But like you said, I can't fault him against Miami because I already been said Coach Spoelstra is literally the best coach in the league. That's a Hall of Fame coach. That man done took Miami to the finals in 2020 without Bron. Now he took it back to the finals again with Jimmy back to back. And then on top of that, he has a roster that's half injured with Oladipo and Hero and other people been hurt. So I mean, you can't beat a coach like that. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people is going against his decision making, and that's why they want him to be fired. But I don't agree with it because it's like you got a lot of great coaches like Monty Williams and others getting let go, and it's like it's not their fault their roster is beat up. Like you can't fault that for Chris Paul being hurt, Nick Nurse getting let go. You can't fault for Toronto having a bad season, everybody being hurt, and then I mean they haven't recovered. So I feel like I don't agree with a lot of coach firing, especially like you got coaches like Popovich who haven't did anything since I want to say 2016, 2017, really, when LaMarcus Aldridge and Kawhi left, excuse me. So, I mean, they still there. Popovich been there since the 90s. Spoelstra's still there. And when LeBron them left, Miami doing that, had one of the worst records in the East. And he's still there. So I think it's just like a media thing why they're letting all these coaches go. But it's definitely, it's really stupid because you had Dwayne Casey get coach of the year and then got fired the same season.
For
Like
losing to LeBron. Like
literally,
that was his fault for real.
I
For
never
LeBron.
seen a coach get coach of the year and then get let go the same season in Toronto. And I think that was in 2016, I think. 2017, something like that.
It was
It didn't-
2018, right?
Oh,
Right,
2018,
because
yeah, Bron.
they win the championship next year with Nurse. It just so
Yeah.
happens
So,
the same year LeBron left out the conference. Like that
and I
was the
said
only
that,
thing holding them back.
and that's why I said that stuff like that don't make sense. It's like you getting coaches let go and they win a huge awards. Like Monty Williams just won coach of the year. And then he get let go because Chris Paul won't have an aggravated injury. That's like I feel like that don't make sense to me. But I mean, to each his own.
Oh, for sure, and it's partially because it's Twitter, NBA media. It's a very toxic place. Everybody can give their unsolicited opinion. But I even saw people saying once Boston tied it up 3-3, that if Spoelstra choked this lead of 3-0, he needed to be fired. I'm like, okay, y'all just talking complete nonsense right now because the Heat not even supposed to be here on one end, and on the other end, like I said, Missoula's a rookie coach. Shoot, he literally was playing Jimmy Butler in college his senior year at West Virginia.
Yeah.
And now he's on a head coach. Like, he's going to take his lumps. He's going to take his bruises. It's a learning curve. Yes, he could have been better situationally, but also his star players could have played much better. Jaylen Brown played horrible this series. Jason Tatum, he had a better Eastern Conference Finals, but the first and second round, he was inconsistent as could be. Al Horford was in a shooting slump the second round. Like, there's way more blame to go on than just saying, oh, Mazzulla needs to be fired. Like, that's an easy cop out. Like, at that point, the Celtics would have now been through Brad Stevens, Ime Udoka, and Mazzulla. That would have been their fourth new coach in the last 5 years. That's not going to produce winning basketball because they can't even be comfortable in the system for multiple years. So people got to dead that for sure. But on the flip side, like I just said, Jaylen Brown, didn't have his best series. Got second team All NBA, so he's due for a max contract. He can obviously go somewhere else, or the Celtics can re-sign him. Do y'all think it's time for the Celtics to say, hey, this team that we have right now, the roster is currently constructed, is reached their ceiling? Or do you sign JB back if possible and maybe make some changes on the supporting roles of the roster and try to run it back? Like, what's the moves there?
You sign JB back, bro. You sign JB back. But you don't sign him back for the max. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you don't sign him back for the max off the bat, right? When y'all go into that room, you be like, hey JB, look, this is what you can get, 295. Come down to 250. The way you performed this series, just it wasn't it. Like, and I don't know personally, if I'm any other team, unless I feel like I can actually develop that part of his game that we know is sorry and it's his decision making and ball handling, I'm not paying him the max. Like, just because you got that title, like, okay, like you were the best of the worst, great. But I'm not gonna pay you the max. If anything, I'm gonna negotiate with you, and then I'm gonna use that excess money to go find a serviceable point guard. Like Bryce has been
Preaching for the
talking
last
about
2 years.
for the past 2 years. Because Marcus Smart is not that guy. They don't play Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, I'm not even talking about these playoff series and when he was hurt. Even during the season, he was coming off the bench.
Yeah.
What'd you go get him for? He was gonna come off the bench. You still got Marcus Smart playing point guard. Marcus Smart not even a point guard no more. He really want to be a shooting guard, and he suck at that. And they paying him $20 million a year.
And for defensive player of the year, he don't be shutting nobody down.
He
So I'm
don't. He
like,
just annoying.
so that's for me. That's got to be their first step. Like, find a way to get rid of Marcus Smart. Like, it is what it is. He's the longest tenured Celtic, I think, right now on that roster. It's time for him to go. They've reached his ceiling with him. Go get a point guard. I've been a big proponent of the Tyus Jones sweepstakes, as y'all know. I don't know what team gonna land him, but whoever gets him gonna land a solid starting PG. I think the Celtics could really use him, and then you can still have Malcolm Brogdon because he's under contract. But yeah, they need to offload Marcus Smart. Obviously, need to keep Rob Williams. I think he's a key piece in their future. I don't know what
I
the deal
like
is
their
with
team.
Al Horford. He's old, but I mean, it looked like he could still keep playing for a few more years. I do agree with Cam. He need to take some less attempts from the three. You not Steph, because he was definitely getting them up. But yeah, they just need a point guard. And I mean, at the end of the day, as much as we want to harp on JB and JT, they still 25 and 26. And I mean, you're not finna win a championship every year. Like, people just think winning is at the highest level is just easy in sports media today. But they've literally been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. I think JT 4, Jaylen Brown 5, and they've been in the league for 5 to 6 years. So
That's
like,
crazy.
they have a crazy amount of success. They're just one piece away from getting over that final hump. But Kim Sanders, what you think the Celtics, like? What's the moves to make? How can they become the championship team they want to be?
They need a guard. I mean, they need a point guard. As simple as that. Um, I I think they should trade Jaylen Brown. Me personally, um, trade him to Portland. You know, get that pick or whatever. I like for them to get Scoot, add him with Jason Tatum, and I just feel like just build around Jason Tatum. I don't think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown at this point in their careers, I don't think they kind of like click together anymore. Or I don't know. Like, it just don't seem like, yeah, like they don't click together. It seems like JT needs to be taking all the shots. I feel like he needs his own team for him to be like really really good, because it's like when you look in the fourth quarter and Jason Tatum has no shot attempts in the fourth quarter and he's your best player on the team, that's a problem. That's just simply a problem. So I think if they trade Jaylen Brown, I feel like he'll get those shots, and I feel like, I mean, I feel like he'll, you know, he'll be good on his own. But yeah, so I think that they need to build around JT, trade JB, you know, for, like I said, for Portland or whatever, and I think they'll be all right. But I mean, it's literally the same team as last year.
You know,
So
and I kind of agree with your sentiment. Just because when you think of the league now, especially this year, it's a league of duos. You got KD and Booker now. Obviously, that's from the trade, but Bron, AD, Jokic, Murray. You count Butler and Bam now. You see how they're producing. Philly, Embiid, Harden. But all those duos, when you think of them, no matter what you want to say about their success in the postseason, or whatever, all those duos games complement each other. When you think of JB and JT, their games don't complement each other because they do the exact same thing. So it's kind of like when push comes to shove in the clutch, it's like, should I be taking all these shots? Probably, but here you go, JB. You take some shots. And JB like, well, I should be taking all the shots too because I think I'm the best, but we got Jason Tatum. Let you take all the shots. And it's never really a balance. They have their rare games where they both can go for 30, but it's nothing where, like, you know, like the LeBron Kyrie, where it's like, man, they both give you 40, and it's like, when that happens, you can't beat them because they just play off of each other and feed off of each other. And then Tatum and JB both, they're not really the most vocal leaders on the court. So it doesn't help that they're the two best, but they're not the alpha men when it comes to being a a, a leader, you know, of the team and telling them what to do. They're not finna demand the ball and demand all the shots. They're okay with taking a backseat to each other. And one of them needs to take that role, and it's gonna be Jason Tatum. As good as Jaylen Brown is, he's not Jason Tatum. But you trade Jaylen Brown, but like Jaylen Brown gotta go somewhere where he's not necessarily the second option, but he's still 1B. I don't think Jaylen Brown's game is built to be the 1A option. Like Chris said, his decision making, his dribbling, it's not superstar level. He's a really great 2. It just so happens that him being a 2, JT is really also a 2 guard, so to speak, as well. So it doesn't really mesh well. But JB and Damian Lillard, I mean, I really hope Portland just trades Damian for Damian's sake to get him out of there, because I think regardless of what they do, they're not going to win. Like if they get Jaylen Brown in a trade, that doesn't change anything about Portland. I think they're still a first round exit at the very best in the West. So I think they just need to trade him. But JB, me personally, as I've said in the group chat, y'all know, after watching that, I pray to God the Houston Rockets don't blow up the young core to go get JB and make him our number 1 guy. I don't want to see that.
Bro,
I'm good on
it's
it.
been in the talks, bro. It's been
And I don't
Portland,
want
Houston.
James Harden either. I leave both of
Jalen Green
James
said
and
he don't want
Jalen
James
out.
Harden either.
Just leave them be. They're both
Yeah.
James Harden can't do anything for us really at this point in his career. JB, he not ready to be that leader of the team, I think. So I don't know where they go from here, but yeah, I'm kind of with Cam. It might be time to split up the JB JT pair, but if nothing else, for sure, God, please, Brad Stevens, if you ever listen to this, get rid of Marcus Smart. You could do so much better. And if you can find any point guard that could just get Tatum some easier shots and control the team so he doesn't have to do all that and he could just focus on getting a bucket, Celtics win the championship. I promise you.
They just like him because he bleeds Boston. Like it's a Boston.
And
Bro,
that's great.
he's
That's
30 years
great
old.
for
His hair is
him.
green, bro.
Yeah. They just love him in the city, like Udonis in Miami, bro. Like they could dig somebody else, but I'm sure Boston fans would be like, man, I really like that guy. You know, it's gonna be a hard let go.
Nah, I know a lot of them. Like maybe some of them, but I know a lot of them probably breathe a sigh of relief. Like we finally got
Especially
away.
they get a decent point guard. So
Yeah, because like Cam Swan said, him taking last shots, you just be like, bro.
that's crazy, bro.
And it sucks because sometimes he's forcing those because they're explicitly focused on
Bro, if it
keeping the ball
wasn't,
away from JT and JB. So he's the one with the ball. So it's like, oh man, Marcus got to
You
take the
open
shot.
for a reason, my
he
boy.
took a-
He is
he
open
took
for a
a-
reason.
he took a stupid shot, and if it went for Derek White, they would lost the series right there. Like Derek White had to come in and save them. Basically, they were finna lose
He
it.
should have missed that because if he would have missed it, they would have traded him.
Oh, absolutely.
If they would have lost, they would have.
I think though with the whole JB issue and JT, I think it's time to split them up too because JB's entering year 8, and you know, saying they haven't got over the hump yet, and JT's entering year 7. And like you said, with being vocal in the locker room, it's very sad that, well, not sad, put a choice of words. It's like uncommon that they're not really like, you know, vocal leaders and they have so much talent. And you got players like De'Aaron Fox who just made the playoffs in his like year 6, and he's more vocal than anybody. He over here screaming at Sabonis, telling him what to do. Sabonis been in the league longer than him. So you got players like that who just now tasting the playoffs and they being more vocal. They took the Warriors to 7, you know, and that's a young team. And he's being vocal about everything. Man, broke his finger and all and still going at it. So I think it's time for split him up for sure. Definitely the point guard. I like the idea of him going to Portland. It would be nice if they get Dame, but I was also looking at if somehow, some way Portland's still on the whole we can win with Dame stuff. I wouldn't mind they get Anthony Simons. I wouldn't mind that. That would be a good pickup too. He's young, he can score, and he can also distribute the ball. They put him in a 2 guard, but you kind of seem like how it didn't mesh a lot because he plays traditional point guard role. And they try and pretty much beat him like a CJ 2.0, but that didn't really work out well. But he showed that he got a glimpse of scoring and he could distribute the ball. So they can give Tatum like a rest to where he can just go off and he, like I said, he can get more experience on the different system. I definitely like the idea though if they can get him or Dame, that can definitely help JT in Boston. I would say definitely reconstruct Al Horford's contract if possible. Definitely, because I know they're paying him a little bit more for his age. Definitely keep Rob Williams. I would say like I don't know why they got Malcolm Brogdon. They even started like I said. When I heard the news about him going like getting traded, I was like, okay, they finna have they finally have a point guard because they haven't had a consistent point guard in a while. Because they went from Kyrie to Terry Rozier to Kemba to I forgot Isaiah Thomas. He was there too. Like they had went through so many point guards each year, and they even thought Kim was gonna be the saving grace, and he couldn't really fit the system. And then they try to get somebody else. So it's like Marcus Smart had to be the point guard in the last couple of years, but they need a traditional point guard, like a point guard who could score and distribute. And Marcus Smart can't do either consistently. Like he have his days when he had like double assists. Don't get it wrong, like whoop de doo. But it be days where he just throwing the ball out of bounds. And then he pulling up threes like he's Steph. Like it doesn't make
Flopping on the
sense.
other ends.
And even when they got Dennis Schroeder, he didn't do anything for he left. Like they never had a traditional point guard. So I think that always been an issue. Like I don't know. Ever since Rondo left, they haven't had no success at point guard since Rondo left. If we're being completely honest,
They haven't.
since Rondo left in 2014, they haven't had no consistent point guard.
That's why Rondo is a GOAT.
Rondo is one of the greatest Celtics quarterback. I mean Celtics point guards like all time. Might as well call it quarterback.
No, he was
But
quarterback on the court for
quarterback, point guard, whatever. But they haven't had a successful point guard since he left, since he went to Dallas when he got traded back then. So it shows you like the glimpse of they can't find anybody else. So hopefully they can find somebody this time.
Yeah, no. Maybe another option too is I don't know. I feel like the Suns are gonna let go of CP3. Now I'm not saying CP3 is the answer, but you bring him on as a vet role because I mean, besides Al Horford, there really isn't a vet on the Celtics team. Marcus Smart is kind of that role, but I wouldn't really just say he's a vet necessarily. I'm dead, Blake Griffin, but CP3 and play him in spot minutes too, like not low managed, but low managed because if you play him the whole season, he's gonna wear down come playoff time. But just a point guard that can help them get into sets easily and just get the ball to where it needs to go instead of relying on Jason Tatum. You know what? Get the rebound, bring the ball up, run the pick and roll. If you got your shot, take it, but don't forget you also need to create for your teammates. But at the end of the day, still look for your shot. That's the most there's too much going on for him. If he could just focus on his game, especially with a point guard like CP3, that'd be good for the whole team because CP3 bring that veteran leadership. But again, yeah, they're another team that's kind of in a tough spot. Fans are getting tired. Same results year in year out. Even though I mean they're winning, just not winning at all. But there's a lot of fans who would beg for their team to have this success over the last 5 years compared to what they have right now. So another interesting thing, but that's them. On the flip side, man, let's talk about the Heat because they're not getting the respect they deserve still. I mean, yeah, they almost blew a 3-0 lead, but 3 of the games they won, they whooped the Celtics. In 3 of those games, they whooped them. They were all in Boston. Jimmy said last year, we'll be right back in the same spot, and we're going to win. Even when they kept losing this series, you know what? Can't do nothing. we're going to go back, drink some wine, kick it, play games. We're going to win the next game. He said it 2 times before it actually happened. But, hey, he got it done game 7. They're headed to the finals again for the second time in 3 years. Like we said, Spoelstra, Hall of Fame coach. What do y'all think's the biggest story of the Heat, making it this far through the playoffs? And who's the best role player from that squad y'all like throughout this series, man?
I got 2, man. I got 2. Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin. Off rip. Gabe Vincent, bro, like he had Marcus Smart in the blender the whole series. Not even that, just even the first round. Drew Holiday could not guard him at all. Second round, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle couldn't guard him. Third round, Caleb Martin just went crazy. This man looked like an all-star. The way he playing, and he came from a 2-way contract from Charlotte. And Charlotte let him go. Michael Jordan let him go. That man came on to Miami in a 2-way contract, had to go to G League, and then now he got like a 3-year, I think 19 million, something like that. So he not even get paid how much he performed in the playoffs. I feel like that. That's probably one of the biggest steals for Miami because I gotta give this team so much credit because they came from a play-in team to taking down the number one team in the Bucks, who everybody's saying it's not I want to say a horrible season for them, which I feel like if you lose to a play-in team, that's not good in my opinion, especially when you were healthy. They lost Oladipo and Tyler Hero in that series. So it's kind of like, well, Oladipo he got afterwards, but still, the point is they're not healthy. They don't even have no height on them. Miami Bam is like 6'9". They have no height. Zeller is not a pure center he could start. So because Dwayne Dedmon's supposed to be that center, but he left. So it's kind of like the fact that that's a tall defensive team in Milwaukee and then got the coach fired after that. Then you went to New York and beat them. And then you took down the number 2 team in the East in Boston. It's just, and on top of that, you did it in the same fashion like how you did back a couple years back. Same thing. Like you beat Boston, I think 2 of the last 3 to 4 years. That says a lot. That says a lot, especially you don't have a pure just superstar like I'm talking about a LeBron or a KD on the team. Like no disrespect to Jimmy Butler, but you don't have nobody who would just that's a perennial Hall of Famer. Like let's go right there. So the fact they're doing that says like this is pure basketball. That's why I like this finals. It's just straight hoops. Like you ain't none of the whole legacy and all that, and the Lakers with 18 rings and the Boston with 18 rings. Like it's just straight hoops, bro. It's like no media stuff. That's why I like it. But I say Caleb Martin really, really carried them in Boston. I'll say that like Jimmy did his thing, in the first couple of games, then got in a little shooting slump and then Bam disappeared. Caleb Martin really saved them. I'm not even gonna hold you. He needs to get more credit than he deserves, especially when Gabe Vincent went down. He definitely had put in the starting role. He had started at power forward. That man went crazy. That man put up, I think, 23, and then game 7 put up 26. That man needs more credit. He needs more respect in his name for sure, especially going undrafted and was behind the scenes in Charlotte and then come to Miami. And this year he just went crazy. Like people on Instagram talking about, who is this? Where's his brother? And all stuff like that. That man need to get more credit, especially. So I say Caleb Martin and definitely Gabe Vincent really went like the 2 role players who just went beyond them.
Shout out to J. Cole because he the whole reason Caleb Martin even got the shot. Apparently Caleb Martin was working out at J. Cole gym all summer. J. Cole kept seeing him. He's like, bro, you ain't been picked up. Caleb Martin's like, nah, I'm just here working until I get a call. J. Cole calls Caron Butler, who's on the Miami Heat coaching staff, says, yo, Caleb Martin, y'all give him a look. Literally, he flies out the next day, has an open run practice, kills it at the practice. They sign him to the team. The rest is history, and
That's tough.
it's paying dividends right now. So, hey.
Nice call.
J. Cole, and Miami get this ring. J. Cole, they might need to send J. Cole a ring too.
A ring too.
For real.
That's tough. Cool story. I didn't know that.
But yeah, Kim, how you feel about you a believer in playoff Jimmy? Like for real now, or what do you think?
Yeah, I am. But I think personally Caleb Martin kind of really saved them. I think he's the saving grace for them because he stepped into that Kevin Love role, but he was playing the forward, but came in as a starter or whatnot. So he's playing that role, but he took that role to like another level. Like he out here scoring and he out here guarding some of the best guys and whatnot. And man, he was just effective. I feel like he made himself a lot of money this playoffs because the whole playoffs he pretty much been playing really really well. I felt like personally he should have gotten Eastern Conference Finals MVP or whatever because I feel like he was just much better than Jimmy in that what's it called in that
Down the
series.
stretch, he was, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just my personal opinion though. But I think Caleb Martin, man, he really kind of not saved them, but stepped up his. Yeah,
Nah, he saved them. He saved them.
No,
for
he
sure.
did. Sure, even go back to the Milwaukee series. I think it was game 4 when they're making the comeback. They're down 3. The ball gets swung to Caleb Martin in the corner. Giannis is guarding him, hand in his face. Like 2 minutes left. Clutch 3 right in his face, and then he did the the gesture right in front of Giannis, running back down the court. And ever since then, he kind of just been on a heater. And shout out to Spoelstra because,
Crazy.
I mean, each series it's been a different lineup that gets the job done. Like in New York, Lowry was playing heavy minutes. Versus the Bucks, Kevin Love, you saw him more. This series, Eastern Conference Finals, Kevin Love and Kyle Lowry wasn't nowhere to be found because they wasn't producing. Next man up, Caleb Martin, one of those guys. Gabe Vincent, he was hooping until he missed Game 5 with his injury, but he came back. He was still putting up some buckets. Max Strus, randomly he'll have a game where he hit 5, 6 threes.
Duncan Robinson.
Let's
talk
Duncan
about
Robinson.
Duncan Robinson.
That was pissing me off because I'm like, for Boston, there's only one reason Duncan Robinson is on the court. So why is he getting 5 open 3-point attempts a game? Because they really lucky he didn't hit any of them in Game 6, or we wouldn't even have got to Game 7. But they would literally set a screen for Duncan Robinson, and the Celtics players would go under. I'm like, that's all he does.
That's that coaching stuff. They was going under the whole series.
That's coaching, but at the same time, I feel like
as a player, you gotta start thinking like,
I'm not going under it. Like we watching the same result happen. He's cooking us. Like let's fight over the screen, help show a little bit something. But they letting Duncan Robinson get wide open attempts. He catches a rhythm.
To the basket. It's crazy, bro.
It was a full Heat team success all series, man. And they were close to becoming the biggest meme in NBA Twitter history if they would have blown the 3-0 lead. But hey, man, they said they would get it done. And it's kind of funny because last year they lose Game 7 on their home court to Boston. This year it's reverse. So, they've been thinking about that all year. They were ready to go from damn near losing the play-in game to headed to the NBA Finals. That's literally NBA history because, the play-in only like 3 years old. But I think this is the first time the A seed has made the NBA Finals since like 1984 or something, if I'm not mistaken. But on the flip side, so I know when they beat Milwaukee, we were saying, I was saying that's Milwaukee season a failure for losing to the Heat. Does this help the Milwaukee loss sting any less? And is the Celtics, was this loss a worse failure than Milwaukee's loss?
This loss was horrible for Milwaukee, bro. I don't care. I'm sorry.
But was it? We finna sit here and compare L's.
Bro, this loss.
We finna compare losses, bro.
Yes,
I'm saying
a loss is a loss, bro.
Okay, a loss is a loss. But Milwaukee, the number one team in the NBA, losing to a.
I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know because they're the number one team.
They're the number one team. 2021.
Look. They're the number one team, but the Celtics, they were never not healthy.
Correct.
I'm saying Bucks.
Is that fair?
I guess for me personally,
because look at Milwaukee. Milwaukee without Giannis, bro. Come on, bro.
But look, check this out though.
Okay.
Milwaukee was healthy.
That's what I'm saying. People keep saying Giannis was out. Giannis missed 2 games and came back.
But that's my point. That's my point. JT ain't missed no games. JB ain't missed no games.
That's what I'm saying.
No games. Derek White stepped up. Grant Williams. Yeah.
He's the reason why he lost. He got in Jimmy ear.
But that's my thing. That's the point. Like you're proving my point is that the Celtics were healthy the whole series, and they went down 0-3. They didn't even put up a fight.
That's why I don't think it's as big a failure as Milwaukee because they came back. If they would have got swept, lost them 5, 6, I would have been like, oh yeah, this is worse than Milwaukee because they are healthy. But they came back, pushed it to a Game 7, and on the flip side, Milwaukee had this Miami team down by 20 2 times in a row. One time on their home court and failed to put them away and lost them 5. That's where I think they differed.
Why did Milwaukee? My fault. Why did Milwaukee lose their series against
Milwaukee? Lost their series because of I hate to say it. But
go ahead.
One of them is coaching. I'm saying that they'll call on wrong plays. So I'll say that. Number 2 is ever since Millsy came back from injury, he has not been the same. I'll be straight up with you. And then number 3 is that they got so big headed. I'm gonna be honest, they got entirely big headed because of what they did in the regular season and then win a chip in 2021. They come in and just say, okay, you know what, we're not gonna take Miami serious because they're a play-in team. They barely got in the playoffs. They had to go in the play-in just to like get in where they at. They ain't taking none of that serious, so they pretty much didn't even check their like preparation. Excuse me.
So you saying Milwaukee beat themselves?
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm saying the Heat beat the Celtics.
I'm gonna say the Miami definitely beat the
Chris
Celtics.
got a point.
Miami definitely beat the Celtics, but I'm saying Milwaukee, they pretty much did it themselves.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's
But
why I
I'm
feel
a-
like it's a.
but-
That's why I feel like it's a
that's why,
greater. It's like it's a
But what
worse
I'm
loss
saying
for the
is, I
Celtics because
think
they got whooped.
what I'm saying is, the reason why I said Milwaukee loss is more significant than the Celtics is because Milwaukee was never prepared from the get-go. They didn't take anything serious. Boston came back down 0-3. That's very difficult. They almost put it away before, people got hurt and, coaching, whatever.
I mean, realistically, Boston only won 2 games.
But also, Milwaukee is a defending champion team as well. Giannis is arguably supposed to be the best player in the NBA. And you letting Jimmy Butler take you in 5? And they are playing
But Giannis wasn't guarding them.
It don't matter.
That's a problem in
That's
itself.
a problem in itself.
But look,
that's what I'm saying.
But look, okay, so then if you prove my point, Caleb Martin took him. He let Caleb Martin, an undrafted player who wasn't even.
Well, no, because and it's no knock at Caleb Martin. He did a great job this series, but let's not act like Jimmy didn't average great points. What's impressive about Caleb Martin is that he shot 60%. And most of those shots he was butt naked open, which is okay. That's what happens when the best player got the ball. You tend to be open.
Giannis is a 2-time MVP. A NBA champion, a defensive player of the year, like a 5-6-time All-Star. He have all these accolades, and he's only 27, and you letting Jimmy G and the team who are playing take you out?
I agree with you. There's something wrong with that. But I'm not saying that's the Heat fault. That's Milwaukee's fault.
What I'm saying is, though, overall, I'm saying I feel like Milwaukee lose to Miami is greater than Celtics lose to Miami. That's what I'm saying. I think so. Everybody had Milwaukee in the finals, prediction-wise. Everybody did.
That's true.
Miami
had to win in the East.
They had a 3% chance to make the finals. Even going to Game 7 with Boston, they went down to 1%.
We don't listen to analytics.
I'm just saying.
I just got one more argument in support of Cam. Why I think it's different. Boston, like I said, last year, this is the 3rd time they played each other in the Eastern Conference Finals the last 4 years. So obviously they're both like great teams because they've been dominating the East. Last year they went to 7, same teams basically. Boston ended up winning that one. 2 years ago when Milwaukee won, they played the Heat in the first round. They swept them. They had the opportunity to beat them again, and instead they lose in 5 as the 1 seed, lose to a playing team. Now, like I said, the way Boston started off, I was like, oh, this is a way worse loss than Milwaukee because you're getting swept and you the 2 seed. But the fact they showed the fight to come back, I have to give them props for that. As to where Milwaukee, it looked like once Miami punched them in the mouth, there was no fight back. And that wasn't acceptable, especially when you got a player like Giannis and he running away from the ball at the end of the game and trying to rely on Chris Middleton, who, like Cam said, not the same player this year. Drew Holiday getting cooked by Jimmy Butler. And at least with the Celtics, like, if people are going to blame Grant Williams for getting in Jimmy's face, what was that, game 1? If the rest of the Celtics players would have had that aggression towards the game, the Celtics probably winning.
They probably would have won. They soft.
It was just like, it's really his team's fault. They left him hanging. Like, he did all that. At that point, Jason Tatum and JB was okay, we got your back. If he going to get a bucket on you, we going to go get a bucket on the other
end. Grant, stop. Grant, don't do that.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. So, but yeah, Ken says, I got to hear your opinion on this. What was the bigger failure, man? Because I know me and you was on opposite sides.
Bro. This is crazy.
Well, y'all know I don't really believe in failures, but but gun to my head,
it's just a stepping stone for success.
Gun to my head, if I had to choose, I'm definitely going to Celtics. For sure. The Celtics. You look at the fact that at the beginning of the year, you get rid of Ime and you bring this young coach in, 34 years old, he doesn't even know. Like he couldn't even pick his assistant coaches, and the assistant coaches are even like really really young, like him or whatever. So you bring him in, um, got the same team. They take them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever, and you get embarrassed. I don't care about them coming back and forcing the game 7. I feel like that was mostly on the players rather than like the coach, because I feel like the coach didn't really do as well as I would like, or other people would like. But yeah, I would put the Celtics loss right above, yeah, right above the Bucks. But like Chris was saying though, like the Celtics was healthy, the Bucks wasn't. I know you saying like Giannis injury wasn't, like that serious, but apparently it was if Giannis wasn't the same Giannis as we, usually see.
He was though. He got 38 and 20.
Yeah, because he's just that good. No one can guard him. But it's like you can honestly
They can guard him when there's 5 minutes left in the game and it's in the clutch because he don't want the ball.
Well, also, the other guys got to step up, man.
Yeah, Chris
They
Middleton.
do. They do.
Like Cam said, Chris Middleton ain't been the same either. They just was There was a step behind. It ain't no excuses. An L is an L, but they weren't fully healthy.
Okay. Well, I like that we having this combo because I'm gonna segue it into the next one. So we're talking about Giannis. Middleton's off. I feel like for all the respect we give Giannis and much deserved, best player in the world title. That point, because I mean, we talk about in 21, it was some times in the finals. Besides Game 6, obviously Giannis had one of the most amazing finals performances ever. But Chris Middleton was saving him in the clutch. Like he would get the buckets when they needed in the fourth quarter. This year, Middleton was off. Giannis was running from the ball. They get beat in the first round. With all the success the Nuggets have had now as they make their way to the finals, does Jokic have the clear-cut bragging rights to the number one player in the league? Because for me personally, I feel like the answer is a resounding yes.
Ooh, yeah, gotta record that.
I
gotta record that.
You gotta clip it.
I
gotta clip that. Yeah.
I told you that. I would give him his props if he did what I asked. He did it.
Come on,
he did more,
baby.
He did more than what I asked. I said make the Western Conference Finals. He made the finals.
Y'all finally see what I see. Like it was clear as day. Bryce was just being hard headed.
It was boring. It was boring, Cam.
It was boring. But he's one of the. Oh my God, he's one of the greatest offensive talents we have ever seen. I swear to you, he is. Like he can do so much on the court. And he's 7 foot and he's fat. I know people be pissed off. Like he's a typical European player. Like he's white.
Wow, we just lost our whole European audience. We are so hard. As you can see, he's biracial.
Nah, man, but
I think
he's the best.
The Giannis stuff, definitely. And I feel like if Jokic, like he already the best player in the league, I always said that. And once he get a ring, that's already solidified. Like he already got MVP twice, and he had this tight debate with with Embiid for like the third MVP in a row. This man already multiple time All-Star, multiple time first time All NBA. The only thing Giannis has on him is Defensive Player of the Year, but I mean, it is what it is. I feel like once he get the ring, that definitely for sure solidify him as the and it shouldn't be no arguments once he get the ring. But yeah, I feel like he is the best player in the NBA. Like he took the Nuggets. It's their first NBA Finals ever. They didn't make the finals with Melo, Iverson, nobody. So the fact that he took them to the finals, coming off, he finally got a full healthy Nuggets team. Porter Jr. finally healthy. Murray's finally healthy. He carried his team for sure. I definitely feel like he's the best player in the NBA for sure. Like he's doing things that other players, like, Hall of Fame players couldn't even do. And then on top of that, like, we had an argument, me and my friends, they're like, who's the better 15? Melo or Jokic? I'm like, man, as much as I love Melo, that's my dog. I got to give it to Jokic. But, and then on top of that, they were the number one team in the West that was fully stacked. You got teams like Sacramento, and everybody else coming out the woodworks and just have 45+ win teams, and he beating just everybody in the West. So I think they almost hit 60 wins. So you taking out teams like Phoenix and everybody else, he's definitely the best player in the NBA. Like by
They
far.
would have had 60. I think they really just
They just like resting
stopped
everybody.
trying at the
game,
end of the
no.
season.
But definitely the best. He's the best player in the NBA. And then on top of that, he's doing that with he didn't even have to go and create join like multiple All-Stars. It's not even taking away from Aaron Gordon, from Jamal Murray, from Michael Porter Jr. But he doesn't have like another big market name next to him, like how everybody else had it. So that man's definitely the best player in the NBA. That's why I said this run like definitely reminds me of, it's a little biased because I'm a Mavs fan, but definitely like the 2011 run. Like you don't have like one current All-Star and everybody else like former All-Stars, or they were like great role players and they all just like doing their part. It kind of reminds me of that. And the only difference is like that this team is better in my opinion.
They're loaded.
This team is definitely better.
I don't know how that Dallas team did that shit.
That was a crazy
And
run.
I know, and when we look back on this years down the line, it's gonna be a key point that he did this with no All-Stars. But I just want to say on record, it makes it that much better when your teammate that's not an All-Star, Jamal Murray, can literally average 30 on 50, 40, 90 percentages. Like that is literally that's legendary numbers right there for a whole playoff series, and he's been balling all playoffs too. But yeah, no, Jokic, like I said, give him his flowers. He's clear cut number one, but turn it around. What if the Nuggets lose this series? What happens then?
Okay, if the Nuggets lose the series, I want everybody and their mama, their grandma, their pig, their chicken, whatever, to give Jimmy G his props. I want everybody to give. I want everybody to give Coach Spo his props. I know he already get his props, but I want everybody to. I want everybody to just give him his props, like no matter what. Like this man. Like
what happens to Jokic though?
What's your
opinion on Jokic?
Yeah, is that a stain on his legacy?
If he don't win a ring, it's gonna be. Of course, everybody gonna have to debate. I feel like it's not gonna really affect him because this is the first time making the finals. So I don't feel like
it is, but it's. Granted, I don't agree with the takes on him, but it's against the 8 seed playing team.
Okay. Oh yeah, I ain't think of that. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in my opinion,
it's how they lose.
If it's how they lose because Giannis lost the AC team, so you can't debate that. And so you can't say.
People will say, "Oh, well, Giannis got his ring though." Because remember, I was one of them. I wasn't gonna call Giannis the best player in the league, despite his MVPs and Defensive Player of the Year, until he won the ring. He won the ring, then he got all the respect in the world from everybody. Like, okay, he's clear cut the best. Jokic right now, he's got all the momentum. People are ready to hand him the crown. But if they lose this series, even if he does play well,
he might still have to be the Giannis.
If he plays well, he good, bro.
So if he plays well and loses, he's still above Giannis.
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I said earlier. He needs
I think so. I still think so. Yeah.
That's why I
think
said
he would.
I
said if he plays well and they lose,
because I said
legacy wise or skill wise, like player
overall, he's still gonna be above Giannis. Yeah.
I don't know.
He averaged a 30-point triple double.
That's why I said it depends on how they lose. That's what I'm saying. It depends on how they lose.
He's still gonna be less.
Because if he averaged 30-point triple double and then Jamal Murray only scoring like 10 points, we know that he's not the problem.
Yeah, so it's like
okay. I hear you.
That's like LeBron level.
I hear you, but on the flip side, if people are that quick to throw Jamal Murray under the bus because he wouldn't have helped him, Jamal Murray carried him to start the Western Conference Finals because
that's great. He didn't carry him though. Jokic had decent numbers too.
He did. I'm saying, but in the fourth quarter, because the Lakers game, all the games were close. The Lakers just couldn't close. Murray was closing the games. Yeah. Games 1 and 2, Murray literally put the team on his back. Jokic was nowhere to be found.
But why is that the story? Case, do we know why that happens?
What do you mean?
Is it like because Jokic don't want to shoot it, or he actually like, I'm gonna get a ball to my teammate, or I'm gonna let my teammate run the offense because he hot or he on or he want to do it? Like, I don't know. Like, if it's like a Jokic, like if it's like a Giannis not guarding Butler, okay, then that's on Jokic. But if it's like, like he want to do it. He's capable. I believe in him. I ain't mad at it.
But
If Jokic can one day step up and start taking those fourth quarter shots, we got to see that first.
No, he
Hold on,
can.
hold
He
on,
can.
hold on.
I'm not saying
I gotta
he
see him
can't. I'm
avoid
just
that.
He
saying.
had a game winner. He had a
Yeah,
game
he
winner.
did.
He came up clutch. He came up clutch.
No,
He,
yeah,
came,
he
he
did
came
it.
up clutch game.
Hey,
There you go.
Nephew, let me
So
see
he
that.
not scared of the moment.
He's not
just
scared of
feeding the ball where the heater at.
Yeah, to Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Jamal, and if Jamal Murray not on, they got MPJ. If MPJ not on, they got guys like KCP.
And that's why that team is so good. They deep like that.
And that's why I'm saying they have the best roster, best team all year, like I've been saying. So he needs to win the ring. If playoff Jimmy and Spo find a way to get this done, we can sit up here and say, oh, well, Jokic will be back. But in reality, we don't know. We can assume he could be back potentially, but this might be his only finals opportunity. We don't know. If he lets this one blow away, and at the end of the day, all he's got is MVPs and one finals appearance and one finals loss.
Oh yeah, then at the end it'll be staying for the but not for like next year. Yeah, not like
that's what it's a lot on the line for his legacy though. Like
that's like the stuff we like. That's unknown though. Like we can't.
I know. But
we can't judge that right now. I feel like
how old is Jokic? Like 20 something.
He's 28. He's 28.
So he got like 10 more All-Star games in him. Maybe 8. He kind of big.
Yeah, we think, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think if the Heat win, the headlines are going to be really about Jimmy Butler and Coach Spo, and really just the Miami Heat organization, all in the whole, whatever. More than like
to Bryce's point, the media ain't bashed Nikola Jokic in 3 years, so why would they start now on a loss?
True. That's
why
true.
would they start?
I'm just saying it would be interesting to see because the media every year up until this point. Oh, all right. Cam about to dip out. Appreciate you hopping on, Cam, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta do this meeting real quick. So that's
Make your money.
But so what was I finna say?
I'm sorry.
I forgot what I was about to say. But
you're talking about the media up until this point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the media up until this point, players can never get their full flowers until they get that first championship. Like, obviously, we knew Braun was the best player since he stepped foot in the league, basically, besides, 09, 010 with Kobe. But other than that, we're like, okay, Braun, he's probably one of the most talented players we've ever seen. But nobody wanted to give him that title because he couldn't win the chip. He finally gets the chip. Okay, Braun is the best player. Well, then, fast forward, 2015, Steph, he's the greatest shooter we've ever seen. He's winning the chips. Well, he got the argument. KD, Giannis. So now Jokic is like, yeah, I agree with y'all. He's the best player, clearly. But what is the media narrative if he loses the final? Because then it's like, dang, not to say all of this was a waste, but dang, it's almost a waste because, like, you still didn't get the ring, and you got this the best team he's ever had in his whole career. They got pieces everywhere. And for him to be the force that he is, he got to win this one, and he got to perform well. I'm not saying media is going to turn on him, but it just won't look good after everything he's done. But I don't know.
Man, I'm telling you, if this dude gets a 30-point triple-double, I don't know what you can say.
Yeah, if he getting 30-point triple-doubles, obviously that makes the argument that much more stupid if they're like, oh, well, he choked. But I'm saying, like, maybe he doesn't have a Jokic game here or there.
Then
because I know Spo's gonna throw something at them that's gonna try to change something. I'm not saying they're gonna shut him down, but there's gonna be moments where they're probably able to slow him down.
Like if Jamal keeps producing and Jokic slows down, it's gonna hurt him.
Okay, so another one. What if Jamal Murray gets the Finals MVP?
If he deserves it, he deserves it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be hard for him.
So I'm saying I'm just making up questions for media narratives because Steph never got the MVP for the finals, and that is something everybody held over his head for the longest time. I know it's stupid, but I'm saying, like, this is the kind of stuff that can come from this finals, like, with everything Jokic has done. But it's definitely in the air because Jamal Murray, if he averaged 30 on 50, 49 again and have some of the most clutch shots, he's gonna have a great case for Finals MVP.
You can't be mad at Jokic for having a
great
teammate that could
teammate.
do that. Especially if Jokic ends with like 12 or 13, 14 assists, and that 30 is because of Jokic passing him the ball. You really can't be mad at that. But Jamal don't contribute in other places like Jokic, so I really don't see that happening. Even if Jamal do average 30,
Right.
if Jokic do 25, 12, and 14, he getting finals MVP.
He's
Like,
gonna get it. It's gonna be hard for Murray to get it regardless because if Jokic average those triple doubles every game,
yeah.
you already know who gets. But I think regardless, even if Murray played better than Jokic, they're gonna give it to Jokic anyways because it's just gonna be the headline of it. You know, it's gonna make it look better.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, true.
Hmm.
Well,
People they just gotta vote for it.
yeah, it was all
Yeah.
good discussion, but last topic of the episode, let's actually talk about these finals, man. Heat versus the Nuggets. Of course, the Nuggets have been able to rest for about a week and a half since they got the sweep. The Heat were looking like they were on their way to be able to get some rest. Then they got pushed to 7. So literally 2 days removed from playing the last or game 7 versus Boston. They bought the plane tickets to Denver right before that game. So they must have knew something we didn't. Who wins the series? Can Miami pull it off for real?
Mm.
Man, I don't know, bro.
I have. Oh, you go.
Well, I was just say I did some reading up and research, and even when I went to Colorado, when I went to Denver, bro, that altitude stuff is not a joke. It is not a joke. And now, lucky for Miami, they probably one of the most conditioned teams in the league. Like they've showed it that they are well in shape. But man, I don't think it matters. Like Denver, they've been up there this whole 2 weeks, breathing that in, the whole season, breathing that in, working in that, undefeated at home. There's a reason. Them dudes can't breathe. And Jalen Green, he spoke on it on Paul George's stuff. They both spoke on it. They was like, that first 5 minutes is hell. It hurts. Once you get out of that first 5 minutes, it's a little easier, but it hurts. They say Gilbert Arenas used to have like a breathing machine or something in the back or something he would use during the game because that's how bad it is. So there's 4 games in Denver potentially. It's hard to win 4 games in Denver. Clearly,
I mean, they don't have to win 4. But like you said, they're undefeated at home the postseason. But Miami has won at least one game on the
on
road
the road
every
every
playoff
time.
series.
That is true.
That's true.
Ooh. Hey, this gonna be a good series because these
Oh Lord.
people ain't got their rings, right? Like Nuggets ain't never got a ring. Jimmy ain't got one. Kyle Lowry, Udonis, the only ones that got rings on that Miami team, right?
And
They
half of
finna
them
play
don't even play.
hard.
That's
I
what I'm
think KCP
saying.
the only one with a ring on the Nuggets team.
Like we've been counting them out. Media been counting them out. But at the end of the day, Miami has been in the conference finals 3 of the last 4 years.
It was
So
gonna happen.
regardless of whatever anybody wants to say, oh well, they won, but such and such was the better team. No, Miami is the better team, and they've been a better team for the past 4 years. They're a good team. Give them the respect. Can we really bet against the Heat right now? Because they keep proving us wrong.
I ain't betting at all. I tell you, I ain't betting at all.
Okay, so put a number on it. You got who and how many games?
Yeah.
I got Miami at 7, bro. I'm gonna keep believing.
Miami in 7.
Miami in 7.
I got Nuggets in 6.
Ooh. A lot of people got Nuggets in 6. So I respect
Cam, what you got?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
it.
I don't
Wanna
know.
do it.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I hated on Miami that last series, bro. I said Boston in 5. So I
It's
I
got
hated on them in the Milwaukee series. I'm like, there's no way. And I
I
said
bet Miami the
they get
first 3
swept.
games. I said Boston in 5, but I bet Miami the first 3 games of that series. Who am I kidding, bro? I gotta say Miami in 7.
bro. It's like
I just think if they're gonna get one, they're gonna get like game 2. Because like you said, it's gonna take some time to get used to that atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna be jogging all night.
So I mean, game 1 is definitely going to Denver. But I say they split it, but I'm still gonna have Nuggets in 6. I don't know. It's just something about that team.
Hey, Nuggets still 2 at home. Is that what that is?
You saying the Nuggets? What
If
do you
they
say?
if they split in Denver, the Nuggets got to win 2. Oh, I mean in Miami, huh?
They
Yeah,
have to
they
win at
have to
least
win two
one in
in
Miami.
Miami. Yeah,
To
one in
win
Miami. It
6.
still goes 6 games. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
they went two in Miami. That means that's
Yeah.
5. But
Well,
I
if you got
I
them in
think
6, that means they're winning it in Miami. Game 6 will be in Miami because they got
Mm-hmm.
home court. So
I think they could pull it off. I think they could
okay.
pull it off.
Ooh, I think Miami could win in Denver more than Denver could win in Miami.
That's true. That's true because it is hard. They say Miami is one of the hardest places to win in, but I
That
think Denver could still. I think, like I said, I was giving the first game Denver, second game Miami, third game Miami, fourth Denver. I think Denver just gonna win the rest. They just going 6 games.
damn.
Yeah, put
If
a
they go 7, I'll give it to Miami because you can't. I don't know. It's something about them too, but if I had to choose, like just off paper with as a team that they have now, I'm going with Denver.
yeah,
Cam still ain't answer, bro. Stop dodging,
put
bro.
a number on it.
Like
Bro,
his life depends on it. If you get it wrong, we're gonna
bro.
kill you.
Cause it's like I don't know, like I've been thinking about this since the last game, game 7 or whatever. I don't know, like I don't, cause I feel like the Heat match up so well with the Nuggets, and everybody don't see it, but I see it. Like I can
What do
see
you
like
see?
what.
Because I'm interested. I
I
wasn't sure.
agree.
That's why I put it as one of the questions I wrote down.
Okay, so you seen when Jokic was playing against the Lakers, he didn't struggle, but he kind of had like like a
They
little
clamped down on him.
clamp down a little when Rui was on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bam has kind of the same body type as Rui.
And you could
I
say Kevin Love too, just not as athletic.
Kevin Love too, but I don't think Kevin Love gonna get as much playing time as you know,
As Rui did. Yeah.
as Rui will do, or I don't see him taking like Caleb Martin's minutes or something like that. But like I was saying, I think Bam has the body type just like Rui to stay with Jokic. With Jokic, I feel like you got to have good footwork, and you have to be kind of quicker than him, but you still got to be kind of like stocky. And I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
Bam is like that. So I think Bam
Mhm.
going bang with Jokic or whatever. And then it comes down to other guys. With Jamal Murray, I feel like Jimmy Butler can handle him when it comes, in the fourth quarter down the clutch. Jimmy
No,
got
I'm not wrong. I'm not disagreeing with
It's
that. But then I'm thinking to
it's gonna
myself
be
like,
great
who
matchup.
gon' who gonna guard Aaron Gordon or who gonna guard?
you can let Aaron Gordon do
You
whatever he
can
wants.
let yeah, but I mean if you're gonna say who gonna guard him, I mean I'll put Caleb Martin on Michael Porter
Yeah,
and
put
then
Caleb Martin, Michael
Well, I was
Porter.
actually gonna say
like
put
for Aaron
Shrews
Gordon,
on Porter because Shrews is
okay.
kind of
Yeah,
stronger and he's got
you
some
Yeah.
can do
length.
Spruce on
It's just
Porter and then you
Denver
can
I
is
don't
put
know.
Denver is
I don't know,
bigger.
Caleb
man.
Martin on
We know
Aaron
Denver
Gordon.
is bigger. So
Yeah, they're
I
hands down bigger,
that's
but
I
why
I
I'm
think
mean
asking.
I
I
think
still think the
Strus on
matchup is
AG.
great.
I think that Caleb Martin and MPJ matchup. I think that's going to be
Yeah,
the best matchup in this series. I feel like. I think
And
they
I
put
go.
think that,
and put
I
and I
think
Strus
think
on
they.
Gordon.
Huh?
I think
Put
Bam
Strus
and
on
Jokic
Gordon.
is going to be a great matchup too.
I
I think
think
that's gonna be
Bruce
one
Brown,
too.
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
like
that'd be
Bruce Brown
nice
got to
too.
come in and he got to,
He been hooping, but so is Gabe Vincent.
So is
yeah.
Gabe Vincent.
So man,
Man, put a
so,
number on it, Kim. Put a number on it.
bro, I don't. It could go either way. Because
Wait. I
also,
got a question before he get put a number on his, so I can see if I want to change mine.
Nah,
Is Tyler Hero gonna play?
we
Okay,
don't
so
know, but he's clear.
they said
Because
maybe
he
potentially
is
come
clear.
back game
this is
3.
tomorrow.
They said potentially come back game 3. That's what I heard
Okay.
last.
Then they going if he come back and Miami just keeps it. If Miami can keep it close and split at home, and he come back game 3, I think it will go to 7. I don't know who will win, but I think it can go to 7 games.
Okay, I came to the conclusion. Whew. All right, I'm gonna just say this: if Miami wins Game 1, it's going 7 or at least like 6. I think 7. Then and Miami will win that. But If Denver wins 1 and 2, I think it goes 5 and Denver wins.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I get your prediction. It's a prediction, but you can't go like
Yeah,
if
he
this
on
one
both
where it
sides of
is,
the fence with
this one
it.
where it's not.
I don't know.
You gotta lock it in. You gotta
Because
commit.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
lock it
man.
in. I'm gonna take Nuggets.
I
in
need
seven.
it. Come on, man. What is it?
I'm gonna say
Gun to the back of your head right now. Who wins?
Nuggets in 5. I'm gonna say that.
Damn.
Oh my god,
Okay.
I ain't
Well,
sleeping on Miami that bad, bro.
Nuggets in
Jesus,
5.
that was so disrespectful.
Nuggets
I'm,
in 5.
I'm finna
Okay.
at
Like
Miami.
no, I mean, like I said, they win game 1. I think it goes 7, but I think Denver, like I said about the altitude or whatever, it's hard to.
I mean, you know what? Not
hard
even
to
altitude. Denver's really good, bro. Like they're
Yeah, Denver's
they're a
yeah.
well-oiled machine.
Yep.
Like they do have a really great
Like
offense.
this
But
might be
then,
another question. This could be another dynasty in the making if they, if
No,
they
yeah, because
win
they're
this and
there
come
for the
back next year.
future. The
Yeah.
only
Exactly.
yeah,
the only question is what, because somebody's probably gonna offer a bag to MPJ. Does he stay
definitely.
for the dynasty or does he go get his bag if they win it? I don't know.
Depends on who
I
offers
don't
it.
know.
I'm staying.
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause
staying.
he's definitely
I feel
gonna
like
get
the
a nice
Nuggets will
offer.
match it. They drafted him.
Denver can match it. I think he gonna stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Well,
you, I think he gonna stay because if you go like back to the big three eras, it's him, Murray, and Jokic. So he's part of that. He's part of that. He's a missing piece that they would still
Facts.
need to
Bro,
continue what they're doing if they're gonna be a dynasty.
if he continues producing and they don't match it, they dumb. That's crazy. Imagine not
Yeah.
matching your draft pick who's
Because
producing.
if you don't match it and he leaves, who do you pick up to continue the dynasty? Is the real question.
40-year-old LeBron.
I would hate, as much as I love LeBron, I would hate to see him play with Jokic.
that would be crazy. Okay.
No, you
Well,
shoot
Or
it.
shit,
No, you
wait.
No, you shoot it.
Or maybe they let him walk and go get Chris Middleton or something like that. Have him be like a spot up shooter.
I like MPJ
I
more.
don't like. I like. Yeah, MPJ do a lot more.
and he's 6'10", but
He is 16.
my turn. Ain't no dynasty, man. I
Yeah,
got
you're right.
Miami in 6. I've been thinking about it all week.
Oh my lord!
My head is telling me, oh yeah, Denver's a better team. They got the better overall role players. Jokic, obviously the best player in the league. But my heart, I'm done betting against Jimmy, man. The Heat, Jimmy, Spoelstra, they're going to find a way to get it done. Tomorrow they are +9. It started at +7.5. It's moved all the way to +9. I was thinking after I knew it was going to be a game 7 Boston Miami, dang, whoever come out of there going to be tired. But then at the same time, Denver has been off for a week and a half. Yeah, they might have fresh legs, but they might be a little cold shooting. You got Miami who's coming off a hot stretch. Miami ML +310. Miami +9. I need it. They're taking game 1. They've won game 1 of every series they played this playoffs, and they've all been on the road. They're going to go into Denver, shock them. I'm betting them the first quarter spread. They're going to come out hot. Fuck the altitude. They're going to come ready to play. Denver has no rim protection. What does Jimmy Butler like to do? Get to the rim. They started shutting them down because Robert Williams was protecting the rim. Nobody's protecting the rim like that for Denver.
No.
Bam, like you said,
Damn.
6'9", he's agile. He guards half the time. Jokic was able to cook on AD when AD had to come out there because AD not used to guarding out on the perimeter like that. Bam can do that. We're not saying Bam gonna shut him down. He's not shutting Jokic down. But Bam can slow him down enough as long as he stays out of foul trouble. Strus gonna have a game where he has 6 threes. Duncan Robinson gonna have a game where he has 6 threes. Vincent gonna have a game where he hit about 5-6 threes. Jimmy gonna do his thing.
Caleb Martin gonna drop 40.
Miami takes game 1. They dropped game 2, but that's all they needed was the split. They go home, win both of them. Denver wins back on game 5. Miami finishes game 6. They learned their lesson. Don't play with their food no more. They were up 3-0. They got a little too, full of themselves. Came back to reality. Had to snap back for game 7. They're focused. You seen Jimmy at the post game. He didn't even want to hold the trophy. Bro took the Eastern Conference Finals shirt off when they made it to the locker room. You think you're going to lose another finals? knowing this might be his only other opportunity. No. Give me Jimmy in the Heat in 6, man. I'm a believer. I'm tired of betting against them. I said they would get swept in the first round, and I've been looking stupid ever since. I'm rolling with Miami. Heat culture. We here, baby. I
Oh my
need
God.
it. Yes, sir.
This is scary.
Miami is 6, man. I'm telling you. And Miami game 1 ML. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock that shit in, man. I'm telling you. Miami gonna come out ready to play tomorrow. I don't know
hope
what
so.
they gonna throw at them, but Spoelstra gonna have something cooked up. Just know that. Just know that. In Denver, they've been sitting on their ass for a week and a half. They're gonna have to get back up to speed with that altitude too.
Well, I can say a part of the altitude thing, like running in other, like this, like running wise in other places and stuff. Because I didn't run in other altitudes and stuff like indoors. As long as you in shape, it shouldn't hurt as much. Like you said, it's gonna be about the first 5 minutes, but once you get used to it, it's right. So, like you said, if Miami get used to it in the first 5 minutes, the Nuggets are gonna be in trouble.
The Nuggets are gonna
Dang,
be in trouble. I think the Nuggets are gonna be
you
in
got a
trouble.
point too,
Lock
though.
it in.
It's gonna be a great matchup for sure. He
It's
got
gonna
a
be a good
very good.
matchup.
It is. And like I said, Shrews, I think you put Shrews on MPJ because the one thing MPJ has been able to get away with, everybody puts a small guard on him because they're worried about Jokic, and then you still got to guard Gordon. Shrews
Well,
is
I
about
mean, even if you
6'5",
put,
got length, and he's stronger.
Yeah.
MPJ can't just rise up over the top like he does to everybody else. I don't think he's going to be
yeah.
able to get that
He was the
comfortable.
main matchup against JT
But I
in
mean,
the last series too.
even if you no matter if you put Strus or Caleb Martin, it's gonna be a great matchup between them two and Eric Gordon, regardless. Because Eric Gordon don't really do nothing, so whoever's guarding him, I mean, they're really gonna be getting a breather, and they should be really the difference maker on the offense.
I
Man, I
think
hope
and I
Bam
think
Bam
if
don't
Hero
play.
does come back, because
If he
what you
come back
don't want to
game
do is
3, they
Hero
in
come
trouble.
back and then you don't want to throw off everybody else's rhythm by trying to give Hero too many minutes. I
Mhm.
think Hero
You
takes
gotta
Kyle
you gotta let
Lowry's
him.
minutes because
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry hasn't been
Well,
playing that well.
I wouldn't even give him all of Kyle Lowry
I'm not
minutes,
saying give
but
them
I'll
all,
give
but
yeah.
I
I would
get
give him
that's who I
some.
would
I
give
would
the
slowly
minutes
ease
to.
him in
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
he coming off the bench. Not gonna
yeah,
cap.
he's definitely
Oh yeah, he
probably
coming
be
off the
like my
bench,
6th or
but he
7th
can
man.
come
But
off the
like,
bench and get a heater in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he go off the bench with
literally,
Kyle Lowry in that second unit and get a heater for sure. Yeah, he could do that.
yeah. But I
That
mean,
second unit is
like
good too. They just
yeah,
I'm
they
switching.
got depth. They just not consistent. But I mean, like, if he come back game 2, game 3, I give him, let him get his feet wet, stuff because he hasn't played in a while. And then, like, when it matters most, hey, bro, lace your sneakers up a little tighter. You finna get some minutes now. Because I mean, we might say, oh, we're not gonna sleep on Miami and stuff, but everybody must be forgetting who they playing. Like, it ain't nothing against Miami, but it's just like you can't sleep on the Nuggets either.
Oh,
Like
I'm not
they can
sleeping on him.
they can
I
keep
slept
it
on him that
close
whole Lakers
every
series. I slept
season.
on him.
They can keep it close every game. But when the end of the
That's
series
the
come and it
thing
matters
though.
most, game 5, game 6, game 7, if it come down to those 3 type of games, Tyler Hero or anybody, Tyler Hero and a couple of other people off that bench are gonna have to be a difference maker, and it's gonna be the same for the Nuggets. Whoever has the better depth is gonna win the championship.
That's the thing though. Miami now through this playoff run, I think they've come back from double digits in the fourth quarters and won 4
Yeah,
times. Would have been
that's true.
5 if White doesn't hit that layup.
That's
And
true.
one possession games down to the wire. They're undefeated so far this playoffs. They're the best close winning team in the NBA this year. They are
That's
literally
true.
built for this series because the only thing that the Nuggets have had over everybody is the Nuggets can finish. They can
Yeah,
finish the Lakers, the Suns. They can finish the Suns because KD and Booker were burnt out.
yeah,
Timberwolves didn't know how to close either. Miami knows how to close, and they got the coaching and depth to keep it close so they can get to that point.
yep.
And then
And I
Jimmy's
think
gonna
that's
take
what
over.
But
and I
it's
think that's
like
what the good matchup is. They both were 2 closing teams, so regardless, each quarter is going to be very close unless a team has an off game. So I think it's going to be a great series.
I understand the closer thing, but it's like if the Nuggets get a
If they
substantial
get too
lead,
far, Yeah, they
It's gonna
get
be
too far.
if they get a double-digit lead, it won't be a close fourth quarter at all. Like
Will it?
it no
Because
it,
the-
it
I feel
would
like
No,
it
that's a
will
good point though
I feel
because
like
it
the,
would
the
Miami plays
Nuggets,
12
it would
the
not be
Nuggets not
because
Boston, bro. The
yes,
Nuggets
it's
not
not they're
Boston.
not
But I'm
Boston.
saying
They're not
they
these
got a double digit lead versus the Lakers game one, remember? And then the Lakers almost messed around and won that game.
the Lakers
Yeah,
are a
but that's
better team than anybody on the East, bro.
yeah.
Like I've been saying, the West.
Anybody that the
No,
Nuggets have
don't
played,
make that. Yes, anybody on the East, they was gonna beat. Because like I've been saying all year, the West is so much better than the East.
I agree.
Miami has
With
not
that.
seen the Miami has not seen a beast like what they're about to see tomorrow, man. I'm telling you.
They haven't. They haven't even played.
I
They
agree.
haven't even played a real.
On the
center
flip
for
side,
real.
though, I don't think Denver has seen a team like Miami with the coaching as well.
They haven't.
They haven't.
Spoelstra's
with
gonna
the
make
coaching.
adjustments. He's gonna
Yeah.
burn a timeout when they go on
Yeah.
a 7-0 run
Mike
instead of
Malone's a
watching.
good
but I mean-
coach. Mike Malone he gonna make it. But that's the point y'all was trying to make earlier. That y'all were trying to make, not me. That this is a great matchup because it's two teams that ain't seen nothing like each other, but they know what each other are bringing to the table. That's
I'm
crazy.
just
They know what
saying,
each
man.
other are capable of.
I'm
And
just
Mike
saying.
Malone's a good coach too.
He
he's
is.
a good
He
coach.
is.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying,
say-
Jimmy Butler done made a bunch of promises and he done delivered on all of them.
That's fair. He been manifesting like crazy.
I
You
know
know what's
Denver's a
crazy?
great team, but this is their first time here. A lot of these Miami players, they have this experience. I don't think they want to lose this a second time. And Jimmy not going to lose over his dead body. And I got to roll with him.
33.
Especially
This
at
may
the
be the
plus
last
money
time.
they're giving. It's
Yeah.
too good not to take because it's been like this all playoffs and Vegas keeps doing it. I
You
feel
got
like
a
it's
point
giving
with
away
those
money.
promises, too. That's
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We
We'll
going to see. We going to
We'll
see.
Did y'all
Tomorrow
see
is
where they
game
said
one.
Wait, so
Y'all
who you got
see-
game one, Cam?
I'm going Nuggets. I got Nuggets in 5. Nuggets get both at home. They probably lose game 3, win game 4, then end in game 5 because they want to win in Denver.
You think the Nuggets got game 1 too, Tim?
I say Nuggets by like 6 points. First game, Nuggets by 6. It's gonna be close games. It's gonna be close games all around. It's gonna be close games. So I give Nuggets by 6. Because like you said last time, Miami been coming back from like 15-point deficits and stuff. I think if they let the Nuggets pull off, it's gonna be too late because that's kind of how it was for LA in game 1. You let them pull off, it's too late. So if it ain't 10, you ain't getting in. Well, I see it.
They say you again.
Who win game 1, Chris?
I already locked in Miami. that's
Okay.
already locked in.
So Miami on
I mean,
this
they already got
side,
the adrenaline. They got the
Denver on that
adrenaline.
side. Yeah,
They
man.
got the momentum too, since
Yeah, they
they
got the
just
adrenaline.
not coming fresh off of
The
game.
Nuggets can
So,
win the second game for sure, but I can see Miami like still in that mindset of like just being
That
anxious that we
mindset,
finna lose and game plan, whatever. The Nuggets, they didn't win late with their family and got haircuts and walked their dog. Like they've been off work. for a
Celebrating.
week and
They've been
a half, bro. I mean,
celebrating.
they be working out in between in the meantime, but it's like it ain't the same. It ain't my career on the line. This the last game for the season over.
I feel
So,
like
Mm.
oh, man. Miami, they
Hey.
playing with house money, literally. Nothing to lose. 8 seed playing, not even supposed to be here. All the pressure on Denver, never been here before. I don't know, man. I just think Spoelstra and Jimmy, this
Mm.
they moment, and this might go down as the greatest ring in NBA history. So I'm going for the storylines and the narratives.
It's possible. You just gotta
know,
wait
Definitely
and see.
possible. So
It's gonna be some pure basketball being played, like Cam said earlier. I cannot wait to watch it. I know all of us gonna be tuned in. We appreciate if y'all listen all the way through. It's another episode of the I Need a Sports podcast. Y'all heard our picks here first. Time to kick back, relax, and watch some NBA Finals basketball. And then, sports gets lonely after that. It's nothing but baseball on until football season. But we got the finals here for the moment, so we're going to enjoy it, man. And we out.
Yep.
I need